Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Awesome Drug Calculations, which is truly Zach G. Today's question comes from one of my favorite books, Certification Review for Pharmacy Technicians. This book dates as far back as the 1990s. I used I think, the sixth and the seventh edition back in 2000s to pass my PTCB. It was an excellent book, so I went ahead and purchased this particular book to kind of assist me with my teaching program for pharmacy technicians. It's not the only book available, and this is not in any way to endorse Dr. Waithman's book, but it's just to give him credit for some of the questions that are captured in my videos. Some of them actually come from this particular book, and I would like to acknowledge and give him credit for those questions. So, um, if you're wondering where some of those questions are actually coming from, it's all from this particular book. Don't want to get too details of it to seem like I'm endorsing it. There are some other books available that one could utilize, plenty of pharmacy technician related books, but this is what I find to be very useful and very expensive too. It's not cheap, so that tells you how of a quality book it is. So anyhow, let's get started. Again, questions are all based on this particular book, and we would like to acknowledge Dr. Reifman for his work. So with that, let's get started. The question um, basically is related to drug volume, related to percentage. Okay, so the question asks what drug volume of 24% acetic acid is needed to prepare 8 3-ounce bottles of 10% acetic acid solution. Yes, it's very short, but it has a lot of detailed information that we'll need to decipher. So with that, let's get started. Let's, as always, we're going to have to kind of circle the information that we need to do or set up our problem or solution. I want to circle 24%. We're going to need that. That's part of our setup. And there's a hidden number here, which is 8. That's also going to be needed, and precisely 8 3 ounces. Okay, the word ounces is also a number, and of course the 3 is also a number that we're going to need in our setup. And lastly is the 10%. Okay, so when you read a problem like this, the first thing that you need to take into account is what is the question asking? It's asking for the volume. And then when you think of a volume, it's either, it can only be in the form of a solution, which is in the form of milliliter, okay, ml. So with that, let's get started. So the 8 3-ounce that you see here, okay, the 8 3-ounce here, we're going to have to kind of break that down a little bit to in order for us to move forward. So we know that an ounce is 30 milliliter. Okay, that's equals to 1 ounce. So that's 3 of that, and that equals 90 milliliters. Okay, so however, there's 8 of the 3 ounce bottles. So we're going to have to multiply the 90 by 8, and we get 720 milliliter. Okay, so this 720 milliliter is an essential number that we're going to need to set up our problem, if I should say. All right, so with that, let's get started. Okay, so the 24% that you see here, we're going to convert that into, let's say, grams. Okay, just to so that we wouldn't be confused. you wouldn't normally see percentage over volume. The percentage tends to be converted into grams to make it a lot easier because you want it to be based on weight per volume, not a percentage per volume. So it's the same number. The unit that we put next to it doesn't really matter that much, but it makes it easier when we set up when we convert the percentage into a gram. So therefore, the 24% is going to be based on the total volume, which is the 720 ml. Okay. The question though is, what volume? Remember, the volume is based on milliliter. Okay, you see the milliliter we see here? That is the volume. So in this case, we have no idea what volume is when it's 10%, which in this case will be 10 grams. That is the 10 here. Okay, the problem is confusing. It looks like it's related to 24, but it's actually pertains to the 10%. When we do this, what we get, again, as usual, we're going to cross multiply, and what I get when I do that is 7,200. Okay, and I'm going to divide the 7,200 by 24. Okay, and what I should get as a result should be 300. Let me know if you got something different, but 300 milliliter should be the answer to our problem. Okay, so 300 ml is the volume of 24% acetic acid that is needed to prepare 8 3-ounce bottles of 10% acetic acid solution. So with that, if you have any questions, let me know. Leave your comments below. This video, once again, is solely put together to help anyone who may have similar related questions. And it's not in any way to endorse any particular book or to make revenue of any kind. I take pleasure in doing this, and the purpose of our video is just basically to reach out and help. So if you think this will be helpful to someone, please pass it along, and we appreciate you watching. Thanks, and I hope to see you in our next video. Take care. Peace. Bye.